Hello and welcome to the show. We start today's West Coast Rally with a Skoda. This, the 130. It is a rear-engined, rear-wheel drive, relatively basic car. Has a 1.3-litre engine, not exactly rimming with power. No, it's not likely to challenge the Bowline Class A. However, maybe it can throw up a decent time. Maybe it can put in a surprising run. Does seem pretty competent. Oh, okay. Second gear doesn't work around there. Does seem pretty competent, actually, on the dirt, which is nice. I mean, helped by it not being ludicrously powerful, but also, I imagine we've probably got the right sort of tyres, or better sort of tyres to deal with this than the full-on racing slicks. So maybe we can make a bit of time up through there as we now head around. Oh, cow, as we leave that car park. It's going to hurt a bit here. It's kind of, you want to get out and push it a little bit up towards this next turn. Oh, there's not much rear grip either. It's 40 miles an hour and it's terrifyingly oversteery. Oh, please get stopped for the first of the hairpins. Okay, there is a fair bit of rear end wiggle when it comes to these tarmac corners. Probably not helped with all the weight at the back, but there we go. Can I get on the power nice and early? I can do out of that second hairpin. Now, how fast dare we go into a NASCAR? We've seen cars getting up towards 90 miles an hour on the way in here. Oh, we're gone. We're gone. Oh, we've done bad things to that front wheel. Oops. Yeah, that was maybe a little bit too fast on the way in. It started bouncing around a little bit, and once we ended up across the dirt, very sideways, we just tore the front wheel off. The car still works okay. Actually, surprisingly drivable with the front wheel at that angle. I will be honest, but yeah, got to watch the back of this car. What on earth is going to happen when we try and tackle this final corner? That, I don't know. I think, can we chuck it in with some speed through here? Ooh, okay, we can. We can chuck it in with some speed through there. Just need to be a little bit wary of the bouncing and the oversteer. I think you might even be able to potentially get that final corner flat out in the Skoda if you get things right. You get things wrong, you meet a lamppost. NASCAR, we've been bobbling around too much on the inside. I think we need to leave it a bit longer to turn in, although when we do that, we end up... I'm not sure that was a good way... Oh, no, we're gone. I mean... The sensible way of saving that would have been to slow down, but slowing down will ruin your run, so I wondered if I could hold it at, hold it with more speed, and the answer is no. I tried a different line through NASCAR. I'm not sure it's so good. It's so bumpy around this corner, or it's so bumpy in this car around this corner. The road's relatively smooth, but throwing it through there, the car bobbles around, and that really doesn't help it with rear-end stability. Well, I might be having some silly crashes with the Skoda. However, I'm thoroughly enjoying my time driving this car. It is a brilliant little vehicle to throw around. You might only be doing 20 or 30 miles an hour, and you know what? I don't care. It's just one of those cars that is great fun to drive on this game. 20 miles an hour. We've very, very nearly lost the back end, although admittedly on the dirt, a lot of cars can have issues at 20 miles an hour. It's just a brilliant little car to throw about on this game. We will try and get a run without spinning it. That's what we're going for here. A run with less sideways, well, say less sideways stuff. Quite difficult to get less sideways stuff with this car that really, really wants to be sideways. There we go. Nicely does it. We'll be flat out past or through Rockingham we go towards the first of the hairpins. Frantically try and grab the brakes. Well, we've had to counter-steer slightly to try and stop the spin. The diff was having issues putting the power down out of the hairpin, but we still got a half-decent exit somehow in all of that. The brakes are hardly great on this car, but thankfully it's going so slow that it doesn't really matter. We can get all the power nice and early out of that second hairpin. Now, NASCAR, the way it seems to be to get any speed through here, yeah, closer, tighter on the inside to this corner than perhaps we have been previous. Car bounces around far too much on the outside. One more quarter to go. There is a howl from the tiny engine in this. We're going to lose the back end if we aren't careful. It's bobbling across the dirt. It will make it across the line. The Skoda's done it. I really like this car. And into the building we go. We lost a front wheel again. The car's probably okay, though, from that, of course, because rear engine. The engine is... what wheel did we lose? Did we lose a spare wheel? Okay. Car will be fine. No issues whatsoever. We've got full accompaniment. In fact, it almost drives in a straight line as well. It's a tough car. It is a brilliantly fun car to drive. Not massively powerful and probably not particularly fast. But I had a lot of fun with it. So there is definitely a victory for the Skoda in all of that. Well, we're going for a little bit of a change of pace now, as our next vehicle to take on this stage is the SBR4, the hill climb version. So, a lot of power, all-wheel drive, humongous front scoop. It's not a splitter. That is a scoop. In fact, it's more of an impressive scoop than some snowplows I've seen, and a mighty rear wing. This stands a chance of going towards the top of the table. Whether it's going to be fast enough to beat that Bolide Class A, I don't know, but if anything can, these hill climb cars are some of the vehicles to give it a damn good try. Now, the all-wheel drive should help it. Fingers crossed on the dirt. That being said, there is not much grip whatsoever here on the dirt. Well, there is none, actually. Oh, God. Mound of doom. We're okay. We're across that. There's ferocious acceleration, as you would expect, let's face it, from a car such as this, around the cat attack hairpin. Same speed that we did in the Skoda, because it can't take any more than that through there, but then we're going a lot faster. Blast across the car park, through Macau. Oh, God, there's a lot of speed now. I don't know if doing the cars this way round was a good idea or not, because I'm not used to suddenly having to go. Look at the acceleration from the SBR4. We get it past Rockingham okay. This time around, thankfully, carefully does it through the hairpin before we can unleash the fury of the SBR4 up towards the next one. Oh, frantically try and work at getting that car slowed down. Thankfully, with that wider place on the exit, we can get away with all of that. We might actually make it into NASCAR. It's been a very, very scruffy run. However, we are still keeping it on the road. Oh, not there, though. Okay. Oh, we couldn't quite keep the wing on. The exhaust have flipped inside out. We've made a real mess of the back of the car. Okay. This is immense around the corners, I will give it that. This can carry some serious corner speed. I might have got a little bit carried away, though, with with the exit of NASCAR. Jumped on the power, just understeered a little bit wide, ended up a bit out too wide, hit that huge bump on the exit. And in a car like this, at the speed we were going, that's a trip to the scenery for us. Now, how much speed can we get away with up towards Rockingham we go? 70. Oh, that's too much. That's too much. Oh, the car actually got away without being skewered on that crash barrier. I thought that was going to get straight up skewered into the crash barrier. It didn't. It ended up getting airborne. I think this might be the first car that can't quite be flat out through, through Rockingham. It was worth a go, but yeah, we're going to have to be a little bit more cautious there. You can jump on the power out the other side. It wiggles around like mad. It's 103 towards NASCAR. I'm all locked up. That's not going to work. Ooh. That actually got away pretty well, considering the angle that hit the concrete barrier. It's deceptively bumpy. I mean, I say it's deceptive. When you look at it from this angle, you can see why it causes problems down there. It is quite bumpy. When you're doing 103 miles an hour trying to slow the car down there, that can cause issues. Putting the power down when you get to the tarmac, though, that can prove a little bit of a different story. Nope, we lost it. Damn. It all went wrong, actually, at Macau. Just me being a little bit too aggressive on the throttle. And, yeah, wheel spin slithering our way down the road. This thing is mad. I mean, I know it's mad, but I don't quite appreciate how mad it is until I brought it here. There we go. NASCAR up next, 106 miles an hour. It's a very, very good exit out of that hairpin. Oh, I thought I'd got the braking right. We didn't. Damn. That was a great exit out of the hairpin. We carried a lot of speed, and I thought I was braking at about the right point for it. It almost worked, just not quite. Ran a little bit too wide. Car parked up on the barrier. Tyres gone. Wheel alignment wrecked. Bugger. Now it's quick. This car, it has got a lot of grip. Although it's a bit too much understeer this time around. I can't save that. Oh... Onto the motorway, and we've lost all of the exhaust. In fact, I think we've lost the exhausts with the turbos attached to them. I think that looks very much like a turbo at the back. Whoops. Oopsie. That looks very much... Oh dear. Didn't know that this had... turbos attached to, or that far back essentially on the exhaust for the car. That's quite, it's quite a cool detail, although technically the car does still have boost, which it shouldn't have because they're well on the floor over there, not helping. Bugger, that run was going really bloody well, but I was too brave. I thought we could manage it through the final corner at that speed, and no, we could not. Well, when it comes to the dirt section, you might expect the SBR4 to be terrible. However, truth be told, it is not great. It has the same problem that we've dealt with quite a few times previous high-powered all-wheel drive cars. It's got the traction here, it just doesn't have the brakes, so you really can't be fast through this section. It's just a case of about 20 miles an hour around the corners and fire it out the other side. And then once we're off the dirt, that's when things go a little bit terrifying in this car. There's just not much you can really do in the dirt section. Oh, there's a little bit more wheel spin than I would have liked, but we managed to quell it quite quickly. Now, Rockingham, we go. It's so tantalisingly close to being flat out through there, but it's one of those that the risks of being flat out perhaps outdo the rewards a little bit at times. Out of the hairpins, always a bit of a slide once more from the car. It's the littlest bit of sliding, but at inopportune moments can cause no end of problems. Don't look down at the speed. I've got to try and get the car through a NASCAR we go. Go for that late apex, straighten up the run out of the corner. Again, make the most of this ferocious power that we have available to us around the final corner. It's a bit understeery, but it's across the line for the SBR4. It's wiggled its way across the line. Ouch, that's a solid fence. Doesn't like that final corner as much as I would have hoped it would. But when you use that power, when you can get it out of those hairpins, the acceleration is absurd. Do I think it is enough to beat that Class A? I think it feels faster than the Bolide. I definitely think it feels faster than the Bolide around that stage. Whether it will be faster or not, I don't know, but it feels mighty around this course. Terrifying indeed, and you can have some very high-speed accidents when things go wrong. However, when they don't, bloody fast car this. Well, if the SBR4 isn't enough to beat the Bolide, maybe this will stand a chance. The Covet V6 R4, the winner from the Pine Hills rally stage. Now, I've gone for a rally spec version of this car, which means it has got softer suspension. It has got tyres that should be very good, hopefully, for dealing with this dirt, but it isn't on slicks, so maybe down the tarmac bits it will be a little bit slower. We will have to wait and see, and at a later date I might come back with different specs of this car. It's also not the turbocharged version. This isn't the most powerful version of the Covet, however, likely to still be pretty damn fast. That is, of course, at least the hope. Feels pretty decent so far on the dirt. How late dare I be on the brakes down here? Oh, okay. Didn't like that section as much. This might not have been a good call. We'll have to wait and see on that. Oh, where are we going? We've never visited that part of the car park before. Did not really get the brakes sorted particularly well on this. Okay, speed-wise, very fast. In fact, I think the speed might be similar to the Bolide. I think the brakes are better on this. However, little bit too much oversteer and we've visited a tree. Well, it could be worse, I guess. Are we going to be getting up past the 100-mile-an-hour mark? Well, we might be able to if we don't lose the back end. I can't stop it in time. We're going to clonk the wall. Surprisingly minimal damage in that clonk on the wall as we head out towards NASCAR now. This is where we got into trouble with all of the speed. Let's get on the brakes earlier. Oh, it's still going to let go at the rear. Could do with a bit more rear grip. I could do with a bit more rear grip with the speed that this car is obtaining heading towards these corners. Yeah, a little bit more rear grip would be would be quite nice. Apparently today is the oversteery episode. So the question I find myself wondering is, where are we going to be able to find speed in this car? Where is this car going to be able to go quicker than the likes of that SBR4, than the likes of the Bolide? I had been hoping that to an extent it would be on the dirt here, and while I think this is definitely a quicker car, you would hope it would be, I'm not sure it's going to be by enough to certainly set a record down this stage. The brakes are good. The brakes are good on this car. They might be some of the best brakes that I have driven with. However, I'm not sure that's going to quite be enough. The acceleration is good in this, but it's not as good as the SBR4, and likewise the handling is not quite there. Come on, get turned in, get turned in, get turned in. There we go, out the other side towards the second hairpin. Oh, and it does, while the brakes are very good at getting the car stopped, it does sometimes wiggle around. Now, that's probably not helped by the softer suspension, the rally suspension here. Now, I had hoped the softer suspension would be good when it came to NASCAR, but it's not really. Well, it doesn't get bounced around so much on the way in. We just get huge amounts of oversteer through the corner, so we can't use the extra speed we can carry into NASCAR. Towards the final turn we go. It's a big oversteer moment for the car. Keep your foot down across the line for the Covet, and oh, fuel tank gone. Didn't make it into the stadium. Again, another one that didn't make it in. I think actually this car will probably still work if we can get it upright, because the engine's orange. Yeah, it still works. We have got no steering anymore. It still works. Skoda perhaps works the best, having had a fight with the stadium. Yeah, the Covet is a very quick car again, as expected. My attempts with this rally version, in the hope of making speed on the dirt section and sort of across the smaller bumps, I'm not sure have quite paid off with the car. It can't carry the extra speed because it doesn't have enough rear end grip, essentially, certainly into sort of NASCAR. And on the dirt, while it was better, I'm not sure it was really fast enough. It felt better, but I'm not sure it's made that much time through that section. Yeah, two cars today. Very, very prone to oversteering. However, I will be curious to see what's happened at the top of the table. Sorry, Skoda. On to our leaderboard, and there is no change at the very top. In fact, the SBR4 could only manage third place, half a second down on the DH Outlaw. I'm kind of surprised by that in some ways. I know the Outlaw is very, very quick. The SBR4 feels a bit faster, but obviously not quite able to carry as much speed. The Covet could only manage fourth place at 1:18.5. I mean, these are still very quick times, nowhere near that Bolide Class A. However, yeah, still not bad times. I think I went the wrong way with the spec on that car. I tried something a bit different with the Rally Covet, and it will be the fastest rally spec car to go here, but not worked. Not worked down this stage. I say not worked. Still fast. We do have to go a fair bit further down to find the Skoda. However, importantly, it isn't the slowest car. The Skoda 130, it does a 136 too. It's 2 seconds faster than the 200BX drift car. It's only a couple of seconds down on the Moonhawk, the Elite Custom one. That's not bad. We're only 2 seconds down on a very powerful muscle car. That is not bad from the Skoda, and I have to say, that is a fantastic mod. It is a brilliantly entertaining car to drive. As I said, when running it, you're not going very fast, but you are having an awful lot of fun with that vehicle. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, I shall link all the mods used in the description so you can download them and have a go with them yourself. But that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.